Well, as the immortal Porky Pig once said, "Fuck, I'm a pig." Um, Welcome everybody to whatever the hell this is. Awake? No, awake's normally positive. Um, one of the most one of the most predictable Oscars that we've had in quite a while, which is annoying because like some of the ones that I predicted I wanted to win did win, which is good, and then others that sort of deserved to get shut out for whatever fucking reason. Um, with that said, hi, I'm Ashley. I am hosting for tonight for obvious reasons. Uh, Joining as ever is AJ.
Yeah, and as I stated to them before we started, I'm severely out of sync now because this computer is probably going to die. This computer may die while we're doing this.
Oh god. And Owen. Yeah, the one positive at least that we can take out of tonight is Kimmel delivered. Kimmel was very good on the nose, you know. Even right at the very end, that Owen missed, walking past Jenny the donkey and the guy in the bear suit, and then getting a sign and says Oscars without incident, and then turning from a 0 to a 1. um, yeah, it's like that's the thing for a 3.5 hour ceremony that's supposed to allegedly go free. None of it felt like it overran, and also in a surprise, nobody got played off. They let people speak, and then when other people tried to speak, then they like did the music and like, no, you don't get a chance, sort of thing. But
Yeah, did I? It seemed like they weren't just playing the music. They cutting the mics too?
yeah, when
Because
it
it was
got to
all
the
very
point,
abrupt.
oh, um, so yeah, it was. I'm trying to look at the list of everything. I need to get that bloody tweet that I saw from earlier in terms of what the order was, because that was enough of a fun thing at the start as well. Everybody at the ceremony got their programs with the list of the awards list, so you knew which was coming when, and then within about an hour to an hour and a half of the end, the press room got this A4 piece of paper that went, no, this is the order. And I think, if I'm correct, and I'm not looking visually, so you'll have to speak Owen at least for a little bit. The order is what was on the piece of paper, right?
Yeah, that's what they told me. You showed me the list of the red piece of paper, just more wrestling references. Like it was kind of like card subject to change, and all of a sudden there's this notebook paper that pops up, and that's the order that we got the actual awards given out in.
The only disappointment with Kimmel is I wanted the bear to be like Matt Damon or something. I thought that
See,
was happening.
I honestly thought when you told me that they did the whole days without incident 0, I thought that Cocaine Bear mauled Jimmy Kimmel in a bit, and they ripped off the mask. It was Matt Damon. And the last thing that was said was, "We don't have any more time for the Oscars. Jimmy's a little busy right now. Good night, everybody."
Also, I'm now trying to work out what Glenn Close would have done had she not tested positive for COVID. Who was the Who was the replacement? I'm trying to think. Because everybody else seemed to fit well. Although surprisingly, we didn't have that many sort of reunions. The only ones we had were Puss in Boots / half the Robert Rodriguez films and 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I think.
I did enjoy seeing on Twitter this morning Pauly Shore giving his kudos to Brendan Fraser this morning. So I was very happy to see that was
Which
put
of
on
course
Twitter.
was the opening joke. Encino Man is technically an Oscar-winning film now. Of sorts.
Radmobile. Never forget. I want to wheeze the juice right now, but all I have is a cup of ice.
I'm also not sure what to think about the carpet situation outside. Did we need a white carpet? Because it ruined all the coverage that they were doing, because everything was live on the red carpet. Oh, shit. It's not red. And then, of course, for personal reasons, James Cameron didn't go. Which was attributed in one of the jokes at the start, where Cameron and Cruise don't show up in a year where they wanted everybody to go to the movie theater.
Speaking of everybody going to the movie theater, because everyone knows I don't like streaming, and I still don't like streaming. I think I hate it even more now because it's preventing me from having no rush to see movies, because I only have a short window nowadays, if I have one at all. Thanks, animated category, forevermore. Did they make the Nicole Kidman AMC reference? Please tell me Kimmel said something. Yeah, I saw her sitting there awkwardly with Keith Urban, and I couldn't hear what was being said.
Glad to see that after a year and a half of being in an empty cinema screen, they let you out.
There we go. Okay, that's good. I like that.
And he did urge people to watch Till and the Woman King.
Hell yes.
So there was at least something there.
Was there an explanation for Cruise's absence? Because I was pretty sure he was supposed to be there.
None, I think, was given.
Is he filming? Has he finished everything with the Mission Impossible, the latest one?
Maybe.
He's been working on it. He was in the middle of it when he did Kimmel. And when his Kimmel interview ended, they both said, "See you at the Oscars."
Did he have heat again that we don't know about?
Maybe he got wind of the script having Elron Hubba Hubba in it.
That was funny.
Yeah, because I was waiting for it to cut to him there, but then that's when we learned he wasn't there, which makes me wonder if that joke was last minute.
Quickly go to the chat.
Yeah, we need to, because
there's a lot there.
I got to give it up to our chat, because they started their talking about 8:00 tonight, and they didn't stop, and they've thrown some interesting commentary, and we definitely want to get to that. I'm not doing a bit. There's no reason to elaborate. If you're new to the show, it's just you win some, you lose some. I didn't lose American Hustle bad this year, but maybe in essence I did, because almost nothing I wanted to win did. So the only thing good was it helped my predictions, even though I went the most obvious you possibly could. And in most cases, it was correct. I hate years like that. And just try to forget it as best we can. Spencer says 7:52 p.m. Had a dream Owen was cheering for Yao and Avatar. Good laugh. Yeah, hilarious, Spencer. Hilarious. I'm just gonna do running commentary, because basically Spencer pretty much gave Spencer was James Keaton tonight, and comedy for me is still comedy. Good friend of mine, good friend of mine, that every single year, I don't know why I'm holding this. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's not. I guess you'll have to find out. If you know, you know. At any rate, every year James does like quips on each Oscar win or loss, and that's what Spencer Reed was doing. So this is going to play into talking about all the categories and all the wins and losses, but this was done in order. So Ashley, I want to go through that real quick.
Well, actually, we don't get to his comment first because I noticed his first comments about the third award. Because Dwayne the Dwayne
we're doing it in order. Okay, that's fine.
Dwayne
Okay,
the Dwayne and Emily Blunt reunited to give animated feature to Pinocchio.
Yeah, of course, shock, surprise, and of course, Guillermo del Toro took the time, as he has lately, as he's been known to do, to talk about animation and the fact that if animation is cinema, animation is not for kids.
It's not a genre. Okay. Although when we get those secret ballots, it'll be, well, my kid liked it, so that's why I voted for it. Like,
pretty much.
Damn it. Then,
real quick, before we get started, I do want to make mention of that because I had a bad night, obviously, so I'm going to talk as much as I want. Here's the thing. AJ, you got a nice little smiley moment at the beginning. I got mine later in the night, somewhat, for the presenters. And obviously DJ was there in his rockness. And you got Emily Blunt, who really didn't get a chance to really talk at all, strangely enough.
Yeah, it was like they have great movie chemistry, but her presenting chemistry was much better with Bateman.
That's fair. I will say right now, I've went on record with my sipping snacks, some that exist on this channel, some that you haven't seen yet, because we'll get there. Eventually. It's just nothing we can do. It's just life gets in the way sometimes. We'll be caught up eventually. So just bear in mind, it's coming. We just don't know when. That being said, I was not a fan of the original Zoa energy drinks that Dwayne created with his ex-wife. And I was never a fan of like the original kinds, but for some reason the new variations that just came out, they're actually pretty good. So yeah, I wanted to shout out the fact that I've dogged Zoa so much on this channel. I was very happy that the new flavors actually were good. So yeah, kudos to the new flavors of Zoa Energy. I thought that was a good thing to talk about, given the fact that he presented the award. So
I should probably mention something right off. For starters, even though my visual is fucked, am I coming in clear?
Yes, Mike TV, you're coming in clear.
You're good.
Okay, because I actually quite enjoyed this show. I thought it was really well paced and had a lot of great moments in it, and a lot of touching moments. But I am like so stressed out right now about the state of my computer. If I look like downtrodden, I thought the show was perfectly fine. I'm just in a bad mood.
Well, we both are for different reasons. I understand your reasoning because we had that conversation today, and it doesn't take Anne Frank to realize what my reasoning is. So,
yeah, because there's like basically everything I've ever done in my life is on this computer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's literally about to just catch fire any second.
Fuck.
Do you have a backup, just in case?
I've got a little. I could back up at maybe a third of this. Yeah. Well, the problem also is this computer came to me used, so I don't know what the fuck it went through before it got to me.
Okay, but, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's why I don't seem excited, but I was really into the show. So especially
Yeah.
since it started with Blonde, that's yeah. It almost peaked early, but I feel like I did call it that Natu Natu was going to be kind of a peak of the night also. So
And we'll get there. Um. So yeah, one award down, 22 to go. And I'm gonna try.
DeBose and Kotzer are out next to do the supporting actor and actress combo.
Yeah.
Ariana DeBose really emotional about Ki Kwan getting his win. Which sort of also got Troy a little bit as well. An interesting thing considering how all four acting things went to people whose careers were considered to be over. Fraser's for upsetting reasons, but the rest, well, I guess with Kwan, obviously it was sort of, he was sick of being typecast. My only problem is looking at the next project that he's doing, which is that American Chinese People or whatever it is, the TV series that's going to be on Hulu/Disney Plus in like May, which is basically him reuniting with Michelle Yeoh and special guest star Stephanie Hsu. So it's another everything ever. Is this part of the multiverse? Has Disney bought in on this because they own the multiverse? Like fuck. Because yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis winning. I guess we should have seen it coming because of SAG.
Something told me, and I know some people would just call back and say I just was copying AJ. No, I went against my gut instinct of going with Curtis and wanted to go with my heart and go with Condon. And I realized the way it went, if I would have went with Curtis, I would have been able to at least win tonight, which was the only chance I had to win anything the rest of the season. But again, it's nice Jamie Lee Curtis has an Oscar, especially her speech. Oh boy. I heard the Simon sound. That didn't sound like a good sign.
I was gonna say whose computer was that, and please tell me it wasn't mine.
I heard. I think it might be Ashley's because I'm on dead silence right now. So.
Oh. I heard it as well. So.
I am Mary Shaw right now. It's dead silence up in this piece. Yeah. Especially after obviously her extremely famous parents went goose egg when it came to the Oscars, and the fact that she has one now. It was a very emotional speech, but again, obviously everyone knows how much I despise that movie, but there were better supporting actress performances that could have won.
If you had told me only 2 months ago this is where we were headed, it would seem out of nowhere to me.
Yeah.
I feel like her momentum came in really, really late.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say is I made the comment really early saying this Angela Bassett stuff is done. And I was proven correct because it was after that. But it didn't go the Carrie Condon route that a lot of us thought in August it was going to go towards. It went the respected actress finally getting her just desserts. And I don't have a problem with Jamie Lee Curtis being an Oscar winner. I'm completely fine with that. But I guess I can say that in my head, it's for her catalog of film, not for this performance. And I think a lot of people that voted probably saw things that way too, whether they'll admit it or not.
I think it's great that she thanked the genre fans.
Yeah.
And obviously Jamie Lee Curtis wins an Oscar the same year she finally killed Michael Myers. It all just kind of came together.
It does balance itself out quite well.
I mean, as underwhelming as that killing of Michael Myers was, still she did it.
Speaking of underwhelming, Cara Delevingne came out to introduce the applause performance. That's the weakest Diane Warren song I've heard in years. How did it get in?
Hold on, before we get to the Disney fireworks song performed by Sophia Carson. Spencer Reed says, "Yay." It's Randy style with like 8 A's, but more than 8. Comedy for 2 is still comedy. Yay, Jamie Lee Curtis. That woman is amazing. Loved her Terror Train, Prom Night, Halloween, Halloween H2O, My Girl, Freaky Friday, True Lies. What a career of a no bees lady. Spencer again, proving what I said a minute ago. It was for her body of work, not for that role.
Oh, so going back to applause, did anybody else find it kind of funny when she said, women in the audience, give yourself some applause? I think that's some of the most reluctant applause I've ever seen.
Especially that one guy.
The best bit after the performance and like everyone was applauding, it cuts to one guy who just like does a like shake of his head as if to go, "What was that shit?" I was like,
he was like, "Shoot me." All night long.
The only explanation was that he saw the movie. That's the only.
And I like Sophia Carson, I do. But like I said, I called it a Disney fireworks song because I just got to see Enchantment last night. Because after I got done writing Tron, it was starting. So I was like, what the hell? I haven't watched a Disney fireworks show in a while. And honestly, say what you want about seeing fireworks all the time, nothing beats Disney fireworks, no matter what. It's an event in its own right, especially because had to tug at the heartstrings at the wrong time for me right now. But that being said, this is what the song felt like to me. It felt like a rejected song from a Disney fireworks show. So I'm going to dance around a little bit. Top Hat says, to go with Curtis over Shoe is criminal, I tell you. First Power 100. Haven't seen that name pop up before. Welcome. Angela Bassett looked pissed off that she lost. Boo-hoo.
That's the power of SAG.
I didn't really know. What were you saying?
That was the power of SAG.
That is the power of SAG. We having this conversation. What's more powerful, SAG or BAFTA? The answer is yes.
Yeah, with everything going on, I find it hard to look at the individual reactions. That's why, like, as soon as they get to YouTube, that's the first thing you do is you go back so you can look at every single person's individual reaction.
Or if movies you like or you don't like are winning, you go to the kitchen and get a drink of water, the high quality H2O, which is the only thing propelling me from losing my mind right now. As everyone knows that's been following me this whole season. And that brings us to a documentary feature.
Yeah, Riz Ahmed and Questlove.
The first time that we've differed of very few categories, with AJ and myself getting Navalny and Ashley going Fire of Love.
When I was saying Navalny pretty much all season, and it was
That is
just
correct.
swayed by other stuff. I swear, I thought a house made of splinters was going to do it, and it was going to be like a blooming Marcia Gay Harden Pollock situation where it that's the only award it won. But no, got nothing.
It's funny, Splinters I think still doesn't have a wiki page. It's the only one that seemed to not fit in that, because it's the only thing, like you said, I didn't see it get nominated anywhere. maybe one place, but
It was at the Spirit Awards, I think.
that would be why I don't remember it. The one I actually did legitimately miss this season. Spencer Reed says Navalny wasn't my thing. I wanted all that breathes.
I would literally say the exact opposite. All that breathes was all that breathes was the most underwhelming to me personally, except for the Hell in a Cell reference.
There it is.
I mean, it's a really good category this year, though.
Well, that category just upsets me, of course, because of the fact that it's the only thing I had no stake in because of the BAFTA ceremony. It was the only time they were running the documentary features at Enzian. Everything else had like a billion showings. I could watch live action and animated all day, every day, but documentary feature for some reason only had one showtime. Just like last year's award season. So maybe next year I may have a chance at all three. But if this streaming garbage continues, I'll never get a chance to see most of the animated nominees ever again. Feature, not shorts. Shorts are very easy. I can see that at AMC. Live action is just something they started doing the last couple of years.
Speaking of live action,
Put it right in, good sir.
Irish Goodbye.
Yes.
The guy that works at Starbucks who was given a special Oscar-branded apron goes to LA on his birthday, and which I think is history. That's never happened at the other 94 ceremonies. We actually had a live happy birthday singing, so somebody pay the royalties to the person that wrote that 90 years ago. Do it now.
It's like the Michael Buffer "Let's Get Ready to Rumble" situation.
Exactly.
If they wanted to do Happy Birthday, they just could have learned the Weird Al song. They don't have to pay anybody.
This is definitely not the first time there's been an obvious live action short winner, but for some reason, prediction wise, I felt the need to deviate from it when I know I shouldn't. I don't know why I keep doing that.
I don't know. To me, that was the one I disliked the most. I mean, Irish Goodbye was easily my favorite, but I mean, like, all the other stuff was really good. Eviloo was underwhelming, but it had a knockout message to it.
Which then transitioned us into the weird bit where here's Halle Bailey and Melissa McCarthy to introduce a trailer.
Hold on. Chat, real quick.
Oh,
Spencer Reed said, an Irish hello is the sequel, then an Irish return. He sings Happy Birthday, and then Spencer says, Little Mermaid, Electric Boogaloo.
It's less that. Because at least Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo was a sequel.
It was I the only person on the impression we were getting a Disney retrospective and not?
Oh, given
yeah,
the Disney 100 stuff.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's been 100 years of Disney, and ABC owns Disney, so here's a trailer for our new shit.
Well, I will give it credit, and a lot of people gave it flack when they first saw it, and I still don't care for most of the Disney remakes because most of them are trash. But because some movies are not meant to be remade. Bob Odenkirk, I'm curious to see what you're going to do, sir. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very, very intrigued, to say the least. And AJ, you should be too.
No, I mean, I love Odenkirk, but just nothing about that movie excites me.
He said himself he's not playing it like Wiseau. He's going to play Johnny like he thinks Johnny should be. And I think it intrigues me more than
anything. Okay, that's probably going to be interesting.
I'm curious he gets to play Greg Sestero's part. So here's the thing. I'm very interested in after seeing the trailer, because this isn't the Jodie Benson Little Mermaid I grew up with. This isn't the redhead Ariel that someone special to me loves as their favorite Disney character of all time. Shout out wherever you are. And this isn't the Ariel that we all know, but this is an Ariel that I can support because it reminds me very much of the Little Mermaid mini musical, The Voyage of the Little Mermaid, that they used to do at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Even down to the way that she sings her Ariel songs, even though we only got a little bit of Part of Your World and that was it. I hate Melissa McCarthy with a passion, but I'm curious to see what her Ursula is going to be like. I don't know how her. I want to hear her sing at least a little bit of Poor Unfortunate Souls so I can get a vibe of how she sounds. But apparently she had a part in a commercial that I saw for like 2 seconds and then Gorilla Monsoon time. So needless to say, was the only thing that got me through tonight, that and good food. But I'm intrigued. I don't know if it's a good intrigued or a bad intrigued. I mean, I saw what they did to my favorite Disney movie of all time, so I don't know what to think anymore. So, is Little Mermaid going to be good? I don't know. Saw the first trailer for the Haunted Mansion the other day. I'm still not sure. So, I guess we'll see.
I'd like it to be all right, but I don't. I think the only film that's delivered to work as animated to live action is probably Cinderella. Nothing else worked. Really.
I'm a tad biased. A lot less now than I was, but it's still going to resonate with me. Beauty and the Beast was fine. Also not the same, but still good enough that I liked it for what it was. Josie chimes in. Just right into it. Carrie Condon was robbed. Even as an everything lover, I hate the JLC win. Love the Kiki Kwan win though. Try to keep these up to date as best I can. And I think we're going cinematography for the first sound of the dooming Inception score.
So yeah, the Creed reunion.
Yes.
Majors and Jordan, including taking the floor and lowering it to be able to do that style of shot that Orson Welles did from back in the day.
And Spike Lee's Andre shot. That's how I know it. I know Spike Lee is the one that kind of.
As soon as that happened and it like lowered for whatever reason, I was like, there's a giant circle with a platform that lowers. Don't let Harrison Ford onto it, otherwise he'll be put in carbonite. It never happened, sadly.
I saw a giant circle lowering. I was thinking either I was going to see Rey Mysterio or Cody Rhodes. Neither of which happened. But what did happen, All Quiet on the Western Front wins its first award of the night. AJ wins with the Inception score. With Ashley
cinematography win just made sense because how weird is that burger snubbing director going to look with history?
Right now it looks even worse. That's your fifth director spot. I don't care what the record books say.
I have no problem with Awesome being in there.
I do,
but
I would have put Armin in there. But truth be told, that wouldn't have made any sense either. Pat's like womp womp womp. God dang, you even got the cadence
that's
right.
All that, every time that came up, that's all the orchestra played. They only know 3 notes.
No, I saw it. It's like everybody's got the same sheet music, and all of a sudden, okay, all right, I'll quiet just one. Everybody, just go to page 15. It's only a couple notes. Yes, that's all you need to play, and that's all they ever played.
We then had,
Jesus Christ!
I guess,
My
mini
first moment that
controversy
I
number one.
my first time that I left the room.
Well, before we even get to that, the Donnie Yen appearance. A bunch of people not happy with him being on the cast, considering his. So, from what I understand, his support for the Chinese regime that is in charge at the time, despite various allegations against it. Couldn't they find, you know, other Asian people that weren't in the film to do it?
Anything I can say
Is
right
that
now
is that where Glenn Close should have
respond
been?
very favorably.
Is that where Glenn Close should have been? Who knows?
Spencer says real quick before we get into this garbage, not all quiet on the cinematography front.
True. The performance was all right, and then as soon as Byrne had the sausage fingers, even I was like, okay, I get it.
I would like for somebody to have seen that performance with no context of the movie whatsoever.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of David Byrne's performances are like that, though. If you just watch it without any context, you'll be like, "What the shit is this?"
His performances are, his concert movies are like some of the best movies ever made.
Dave, I like you, David Byrne, but you are, for this circumstance, you are guilty by association, good sir.
And to think also, what we saw there, we can say this officially now. What we saw in that performance is representative of a Best Picture winner. I mean, it's
a picture winner. I wouldn't call it best anything.
That's so weird. You have to admire it.
No,
because like I said, because people complain when they go safe, like Green Book. This is the complete opposite of that. I mean, it seems safe now because it was such a shoe-in, but look back on it in 10 years, we're gonna go, it's really fucking weird how much that movie swept.
I mean, history was made in the respect that a film that was nominated for picture, that was also nominated for score and song, didn't win either, but still won picture. Every other time, it's won one or the other.
That's yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Makeup and hair went to The Whale. AJ, you got that one. Good job.
Pulled it out of my ass because I almost wrote down Elvis, but just somehow I talked myself into The Whale.
I mean, technically, via the power of multiverses, I guess this was a Hulk reunion. With Connolly and the OG Hulk and Samuel L. being Incredible Hulk.
That's stretching it. There's got to be another connection somewhere.
Yeah, the connection that happened to me halfway through a speech was a Pierce Brosnan Bond girl giving another Pierce Brosnan Bond girl an Oscar. That's an odd connotation.
9:24 p.m. It's time stamped for a purpose. I want to say this. Spencer Reed says The Whale won makeup. Damn, Fraser may win actor.
Yeah, I really should have stuck to my whole makeup's gonna call actor thing, and then I fucking abandoned it.
I also didn't realize how much of the actual makeup was just CGI. Because they did like mention it in those random sort of tidbits and that they had in the things, and basically he just had a normal face, but the sort of the face actions and the chubbiness was sort of added CGI afterwards, partially via AI or whatever. So it was like, so why isn't that in visual effects?
All right. So Spencer said at 10:03 p.m. Pacific Heights 24th watch in total tonight in preparation for the Oscars.
Then random
Costume.
sighting of Morgan Freeman and Margot Robbie to talk about 100 years of Warner Brothers.
Nice Batman reference. I appreciated that.
Am I forgetting something, or has it been a while since we've seen Morgan Freeman?
When he was bald, I was like, what? I've never seen him without like any hair on his head.
The bucket list, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, it's 100 years of Warner Brothers, 100 years of Disney. Hey, one of which we may end up seeing in a couple of months. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, I know it's later on, but it's not listed in sort of a listing because it wasn't given an actual presentation. It was just in one of the advert breaks. But we did get some sort of new trailer of sorts for Oppenheimer. With our first sighting of actual Matt Damon in the trailer as well.
He's in the new trailer that was on... Was it on... Is he in? Yeah, he's in one of the Scream trailers. That's where I got to see, well, Champions, of course. We'll talk about that later. Where I got to see Big George Foreman for the first time. Faith-based boxing movie. Not my idea of a good time. Speaking of that, costume design.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus and
Me. Literally.
the Dano. Paul Dano trying to look like Elvis for some reason.
So yeah, we all sucked on this one. For all the things I said on Popcast about giving superhero movies costume design, just slapped me right in the face with this bottle. So moving forward, every single superhero movie needs to win costume design from now because a precedent's been set.
Although the great thing is, the only precedence on the season is Critics' Choice.
Yeah.
It didn't even get, fantasy because the Costume Guild Awards gave it to Everything Everywhere.
Well, if you want to give a movie that has those type of costumes in it, that should have gotten more awards or any sort of props in this Academy Awards show, I'm just going to go ahead and just give that my personal win to the Woman King instead, because it's much more deserving.
Yeah, the whole Elvis blanking completely thing, I never would have predicted that.
Complete BS.
I would have never guessed there was any universe where that happened. I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying I'm surprised.
I'm extremely mad about it. And Gabriel also says Ruth Carter, the first black woman to win 2 Oscars in any category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In theory, we won't be seeing her next year because her next big project is the Blade film, which isn't coming out for another 12 months at least. So,
where are we? I'm trying to get...
There was also a little clip for the new show Class of 09 with Kate Mara and Brian Tyree Henry.
Am I getting water? Point. Spencer Reed said that same thing in chat at 10:34 p.m. about Ruth Carter.
Oh, the one thing that we did get though before costume design is the surprise. Surprise number 1. Jenny the donkey somehow made it over, out of retirement, to be live at the Oscars as maybe an emotional support donkey. Who knows?
What does an animal think in a position like that?
I
What
don't
does an
know.
animal think?
I'm trying to work out what it understood, because as soon as Kimmel said, "Use no Colin," it turned its head to Colin like, "Holy shit! We got sentient donkeys here. Where's he up?"
It's a sequel to Megan waiting to happen.
TONK3Y.
Still more entertaining than Avatar. Including the movies that are yet to be made that are going to be 9.5 hours long, and only 8 people are going to watch them, and they're going to make $7 million.
Oh, so like 65.
Yes. Which I will not watch, but until I get some sort of a reason to go see it. Which is great, because next week I can officially go back to Voices, because award season's over. And the only thing coming out next week that that I would have to worry about is Shazam. Don't care. So I'm going back to Disney next week. Speaking of don't care.
And we had Deepika Padukone introducing Natu Natu.
This is just not my steez, man. Sorry, it's like maybe Bollywood would not be something I really could get into.
No, I haven't really taken to any of the Bollywood movies I've seen, but Natu Natu is a fucking sweet song. Like, I don't care.
I didn't even like the song. It started out like, it sounded like to me, this sounds bad. And I'm sorry, it's just how it sounded. It started out like, to me, like the old Great Khali theme. And then it went to what I believe a Bollywood version of Newsies would sound like. And I just wasn't a fan.
Considering the plot is all about the colonial stuff, Newsies probably fits.
Yeah, it actually does.
I'm waiting for the bad part here.
I just, it's not my cup of tea. I just not a fan.
I believe it was Christian Bale himself who once said, "If you say anything bad about Newsies, you've got a lot of people to deal with."
No, I like Newsies. I do. Don't get me wrong. It's just I wasn't a fan. It gave me like, I don't know. Just wasn't a fan.
Well, you wouldn't like RRR because they literally recreated the scene from the movie.
I could tell from the video later when they actually did the clip for the actual award later in the night.
Yeah.
I got to see that.
I like the fact though that the actors were just singing. They just got other dancers in to do their dancing parts instead. It's like, we're not doing it live. Get some other buggers to do it.
You know what kind of disappointed me? When Kimmel did that bit at the beginning about how you won't be played off, you'll be danced off.
Never happened.
I was really hoping that wasn't just a joke. I was hoping they would really do that.
Oh God, how can a television show make this embarrassment?
That's Kimmel's thing, because he also did the bit for 2017 where he said if you run over Lakeith Stanfield's going to run out and tell you to get out, and they never did that again either.
You know, it's funny. Real quick, Gabriel says Donkey Swoop 2023. I realized in watching the show who Jimmy Kimmel is now in 2023. It's very simple. Jimmy Kimmel's the new David Letterman. I just get that vibe from him. Like old school Dave, like right before he left NBC and went to CBS.
I would say you might piss some people off with that compliment, but you're one of those. You're like That's a pretty big compliment coming from you.
For me, that is a big deal. I like Kimmel, though. I always have. I mean, I guess you could say Kimmel's kind of like Conan as well, too. But I mean, Letterman is the first thing that popped into my. Plus, he's hosted the Oscars numerous times. Even though the time that Dave hosted the Oscars, they weren't looked upon very favorably, but that was a different time. The Uma Oprah thing, which is never going to be lived down to the end of time. But yeah, I'm comfortable saying that. I don't, like you said, AJ. It's a divisive statement to make, but screw it.
Bollywood isn't for everybody. I'm not hugely into it, but I did enjoy the song because it did feel like, after hearing the other two ones, it's like, oh wait, this is a good song.
There was only one song that I enjoyed that entire 5, and I'm sure it doesn't take a rocket scientist or even a third grade scientist to figure out exactly which one that is.
They in the advert break between this and the next bit, they did confirm The Bear Series 2 is coming in June. They did a little trailer for that.
Again, I don't recall this, so I mean, I must have been like.
I mean, will you stop?
Oh yeah, that will you stop is what was going on with it. Well, that's what I was watching when this was going on.
And we had Eva Longoria with Janet Yang to do. Go to the museum, fuckers!
See, I'm telling you, that museum is the real, and just to be near it sucked that I couldn't go in. So I will tell you right now, let it be known at 12:38 a.m. officially on the 13th of March, 2023.
This is the bucket
next time
list.
I go to California, I'm going.
That's the bucket list.
There's not many things left on that bucket list. Letterman's a bigger one on the bucket list, and Kevin Smith before this year is on that list. Letterman's going to be a little bit more difficult, but Kevin Smith before this year's over? You never know. I hope so. So, we get to international feature.
Antonio Banderas and Selma Hayek, Holiday Inn, Hilton, whatever the hell it is.
She's Selma Hayek. It doesn't matter about anything else. I've said that before. I don't care. Who cares? Like, I'm sorry. I know there's other names. I don't care. I'm going to call them what I call them.
Everyone's going to go on the digital things and, digitally air out her married name. And just no, just go with the other name. It's better.
The Inception score returns again. Of course. We all picked it. This gave AJ a lead.
I'll go out and West Pro was always going to win that. Argentina in 1985 got a big reaction.
Which would have sucked for you because it's the only one you didn't get to.
It's hanging out on Amazon. I had perfect access to it. The bullshit you're looking at right now is why I didn't see it.
I know.
Just want to check.
I'm trying to keep track of everything. I've got a reason why I'm not saying certain things right now. I'm trying to make it fit. Documentary short was up next.
With Elizabeth Olsen and Pedro Pascal.
How did you guys call this? Because if I was gonna go against Stranger at the Gate because I would go with one from Netflix, I would have said the Martha Mitchell Effect before I said Elephant Whisperers.
Well, I don't care about streaming services and don't use them as litmus tests to figure out what I think's going to win. And obviously, the answer I wanted to go with was the Rent answer, but I didn't hear anybody talking about it, so I immediately eliminated that one. Everybody that I was looking at when I was looking at this was basically saying one of these two. And I'll shoot 100%. This is how I figured it out. And I have no problems in admitting that. Sometimes you have to, especially when it's that close to call.
I sort of just like went on the aspect of it was like one of the more international projects, and in a year where international clearly was a thing in a lot of it.
Yeah, reasoning. I didn't.
Also, I was probably getting swayed by the man with the golden gun when Cubby Broccoli bought 2,500 pairs of elephant shoes because he thought they were going to have elephants in the film. It was probably just at that point. Which then...
So yeah, dumbluck.com, AJ, just like always. But what wasn't Dumb Luck? Best animated short, which we all called as well.
It's such a good short.
Yeah, it is. Such an inspirational short, too, I guess. If you want to talk about a year of inspiration, that was the right one to go with.
Even Charlie in his speech was timid as all hell. Didn't know what to do.
It was easily the best one. I made this comment before. The only one I didn't enjoy at all was The Flying Sailor. But there's always one that I don't really dig, but I liked everything else. At least partially.
And then surprise number 2.
But first, Spencer Reed says at 10:02 p.m., The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. The sequel will be called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, the Moose, the Coconut, the Donkey, and the Horse.
The Snowman. That's the actual sequel. You just got to go back in time 40 years.
God, just as long as it's not that horrible character from Wild Arctic, we're good. If it's Jerry Reed, I'm cool with that. That's the only snowman I promote. I got AJ to smile even through the crappy computer of that one. There you go. Yes.
I mean, it's true.
Damn right it is.
So yeah, surprise number 2. Despite seemingly indicating nothing was happening, we got an unplugged edition of Lady Gaga's "Hold My Hand."
Yeah, it was the only performance of the entire night that I really moved me. I'm super biased towards this for lots of reasons, but it was the only one that really was impactful for me. Because I don't like most of the performers of the other songs, or not like the other songs. But this was always the song that I really went with. And I love the way that she performed it, too.
After Shallow and that song from The Hunting Ground, Gaga's one of those people where Gaga's one of the few where I fully support nominating her just to get the live performance.
Yeah.
She needs that EGOT, and I know that she's going to get it one of these days, too.
Was she missing?
Everything. Bar the Grammy.
She's got an Oscar for Shallow.
Yep.
Oh, of course, that did win, yeah.
She doesn't have a Tony.
And doesn't have an Emmy yet. Hasn't even been nominated for Tony.
She would have had a chance with American Horror Story, but it didn't go that early. That was her only shot so far. Tony, I mean, when you're a touring musical artist, to be able to give up time to go to Broadway, it's hard to schedule it out. So she's willing to take time off recording and touring. I mean, doing a Broadway production would be great, but I don't know if it's in the plans or not. I'm sure it is somewhere down the line. Because everybody was really upset when they found out. Oh, can you imagine all the little monsters that didn't know that she was going to perform tonight? How mad they are now knowing that she actually did. unannounced, literally unannounced to everybody, because she basically said in that little letter, it's like, I'm proud of this song, but I got Joker stuff to do, so sorry. And then she shows up anyway. Speaking of Joker stuff to do, the dooming score returns.
No, production design was first. The Four Weddings reunion.
Yeah. The dooming score returns.
Although apparently the big thing that was trending before the show was how Hugh Grant didn't want to do an interview with the ABC reporter on the red carpet.
Was that the one where she was praising him for Glass Onion?
I don't know.
The interview I saw, which I think I had turned over to ABC by then, was she said, how great was it to be in Glass Onion? And he like paused for a long time and he said, I'm in it for like 30 seconds. And that's all he said. Which is true, but you know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the dooming score returns. Another win. This is that none of us called on either of them, actually.
I was surprised. That was the sort of only like big surprise that sort of came through.
Yeah, production design and original score going to All Quiet on the Western Front.
Well, score had a chance.
All that, like AJ said, and he talked about it for a while, all love for Justin Hurwitz. And it's like, nope.
Well,
Carter Portwell, nope. John Williams, nope.
Yeah.
Let's give it to the Inception soundtrack.
Yeah, I was gonna say I predicted wrong by saying Banshees, but I felt like giving myself a point just for not saying Babylon, because it seemed like it was so obvious that
Fair. Let's see, what do we got? Chat's just is hard because I've got your flashbacks, Josie. I'm saving them for the end because I don't think any of us got because we ain't got where place else left to go. Literally. So, All Quiet on the production design front, says Spencer. 10:14 p.m. All Quiet doing well, my friends. 30 in 2023 may have some similarities.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I was waiting for Adapted, because if All Quiet on the Western Front had one Adapted, Everything Ever All at Once might have been in trouble.
I thought it was going to, and I was getting excited.
Yeah, because production design, a movie like All Quiet on the Western Front would be a given in any other year in production design, but I really felt like it would have been at least third to Elvis and Babylon.
Yeah, you'd think so, but I guess not. Spencer chimes in, says All Quiet except for the score front. All Quiet looking good. Hold on, we'll get to that in a little bit.
And then looking how the awards were presented, I'm wondering whether it was supposed to be Glenn Close with Elizabeth Banks, because that was the only solo presentation of an award.
I don't think
technically the Bear was the co-presenter, I guess. That would have been kind of an awkward bit to do with two people.
That wouldn't have worked with her. I mean, if it would have been a giant Dalmatian instead, that would have worked. But Cocaine Bear was the joke in its own right, so I think Glenn Close would have went somewhere else. Could she have done the In Memoriam? No, there's no way. Because Travolta always had to do it because of the Olivia Newton-John connection.
Are we under the impression it was always going to be Halle Berry in place of Will Smith?
I think they established that a couple of days back. Or at least it was rumored that,
I don't really make any sense either. Unless the only connection I could think of for that situation would be Shark Tale.
I don't think she's in Shark Tale.
I thought it's her. I thought she was in Shark Tale.
Zellweger, I don't know why the hell I know this. Zellweger and Jolie are.
I swore she was in Shark Tale. I'm probably wrong because I'm always wrong. Ask anyone.
No, I'm trying to think.
I'm going there right now. Let's go.
I don't think they've appeared in anything together.
That's the only thing I could think of was the fact that
Halle Berry was in Robots.
Yeah.
Which was around the same time.
I'm gonna assume nobody made that they're both she and Yo are both Brosnan Bond Girls connection. I'm assuming that's just a coincidence.
Probably just.
I think people were going. I think it was like under the impression because they didn't know who'd won, but they thought it was Yo.
I feel stupid. I'm sorry.
Let's have the. Let's have the last. Let's have the last non-white person to win this award. Give it out to Michelle Yeoh.
Jesus.
I don't think.
Just because at that point I was thinking, oh God, what if this is a Chadwick Hopkins situation? We do all this and then it's like, and it goes to Andrea Riseborough, and then Cate Blanchett's like, you were supposed to vote for me. She was just supposed to get in, you bastards.
Okay, Vanity Fair. This is on them if this isn't right. They just literally posted this. Pairing Chastain and Barry had meaning no matter which way the award went. Until tonight, Barry was the only woman of color to ever win Best Actress. Yo becoming the first Asian winner in this category would have significance as one performer of color helps hand the Oscar to another. Paired with the previous year's winners, both ended up welcoming Yo into the Pantheon. Had Cate Blanchett won, two fellow veterans would have been the ones to present the award to someone else already in that Pantheon. But in Will Smith's absence, the tradition of having the previous Best Actor present the honor would be broken, but no one could deny the prestige of having Chastain and Barry fulfill the duty.
Okay.
So there really wasn't any they were actually in a movie in 1998 called Welcome to Hollywood together. So that's the only thing that I could find. That's right.
The Adam Rifkin movie, the Adam Rifkin mockumentary.
That's a shoot, 100%. That's the only thing they've done together.
Oh God, there's like a billion cameos in that. That doesn't even count.
Glenn Close was going to do Picture, I heard, says Spencer Reed. I mean, that could have happened, but Air Force Harrison had to be there, of course.
Yeah, the Kwan connection made too much sense.
Yeah, definitely. Shark Tale mentioned to activate Puff Daddy Martin Scorsese. God dang it, Gabriel. All right, speaking of things I don't care about. Yeah, the Rihanna performance. I've never been a fan, and I don't care.
Did we mention the Avatar one?
That was next award after the Rihanna performance. Yeah, I put it in order.
No, Elizabeth Banks was whatever. The one thing I do want to mention is the bear had a better voice than Elizabeth Banks did. I don't know what Elizabeth had done.
I still just wanted that to be a Matt Damon bit.
I thought it was.
I was hoping.
I've seen enough WrestleManias with bloody Pete Rose as the chicken to there's gotta be payoff for this, right?
I thought that after the giveaway picture, because I obviously turned it off before then, I thought the all apologies to Matt Damon gimmick that he's been doing for years was going to have a payoff, and the payoff was going to be he was going to get mauled by Cocaine Bear, and then they do the bit where he knocks the sign over that says days since 0 to 1, and sure enough, the mask will be ripped off. It's Matt Damon. He gets the last word and the last laugh, and that's how we go home.
Okay, you saying that your little scenario there is very funny because of what I was thinking about.
Oh, okay. And we didn't watch the show together, so I mean, I'm curious what you were gonna say.
it wouldn't have been his first time doing this. Like I said, it's funny that you correlate the Cocaine Bear bit with the Days Without Incident sign, because the first thing that came for me was, I don't even remember how, once again, I don't even know how I know this or when this happened. It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Jimmy Fallon had a bit on the Tonight Show where there was a dancing panda or something, and when the final punchline to that bit is when the panda finally took his head off, it was Chris Rock.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
Like,
that's
imagine, just imagine.
God dang it, that's great. What's not great is you're going to lose me and out of the camera shot in a few minutes. Maybe. I'll figure this out. Okay. Fine. Someone. Oh, God. Are we there?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is I have my phone's going to die, so
Oh.
I have to
Put it on
I'm
charge.
still here. I'm trying to.
Before too long, Ash is going to be the only one left for technical
God.
reasons.
I mean, is that really a bad thing, though, honestly, at this point?
It's gonna be like Unfriended. We're right here now, and we're just gonna get picked off one by one.
Oh, God, I got to hold things now. This is not going to bode well for me. All right. So, yeah, to the shock of no one, Avatar wins visual effects. It's a little bit better.
I mean, we talked about the whole Ex Machina thing and how there's been surprises in this category. At the rate we were going, I would not have been surprised if the one to take down Avatar was All Quiet on the Western Front.
Same here at this point.
Rihanna's performance was okay. You know, I guess the thing to note as well, though, it was the first time that that's been performed in public. At least I think. Because it never was part of the Super Bowl set.
I wouldn't know.
Then we jumped to Spider-Man and I guess Black Widow, probably, in some shape or form.
Nah, I don't think Black Widow. I think other things.
Presenting the screenplay awards with original going to Everything Everywhere and adapted going to Women Talking. I guess warranting why it was actually in Best Picture. Probably.
Keep telling yourself that.
I noticed that now that they've been together for a while, Rooney Mara is slowly turning into Walking Phoenix. Did you see the bit where Jessie Buckley tried to get her to stand up and she wouldn't?
Nice.
Oh wow! Thanks to Vulture, that wasn't Jenny. They faked Jenny, the donkey.
That was a stunt donkey.
That's an actual stunt donkey.
That was Jerry.
Well, Farrell did say that Jenny did have a stand-in on set.
That's true.
So maybe it was one of them. I don't know.
Spencer says, I still love the 1930s one the best, but the 2022 one is very good. Good job, Burger. But of course, I copied over the welcome to the live chat because I'm an idiot. Spencer continues, Sarah Polly is such a nice lady. She's Canadian, so am I. We have a forever bond. Women talking forever. Said exactly that way. Spencer says everything is an amazing writing achievement. I'm eating a donut watching the Oscars. Very good donut. That's about as entertained as I was with some of these awards there, Spencer, so I give it to you there. I'll get that one. Yeah. Josie goes, I missed All Quiet before the Oscars. Now I must check it out. My brother even said it was really good, and we have really good taste. Nice. I especially like seeing stuff before, but hey, we watch things after Oscars from many years ago. We can watch things years before. I mean, from recent years after. Yeah, movie. Josie, you said it best in your little in your video that you did that I was very happy to put over on Twitter. You're very welcome. Basically saying that a movie doesn't just disappear after the award season's over. It either grows with you or grows with someone else, but it's going to have an impact in someone's life, no matter if it's positive or negative. So it's not going anywhere. It's not just going to disappear off the face of the earth just because the Oscars are over. It doesn't mean that people can't still savor the movies that won and that lost.
You say that, but Everything Everywhere All at Once doesn't even have a physical release over here.
Who cares?
And in a reversal of fortunes, for some reason, a 4K exclusive release of All Quiet on the Western Front is coming in a month or two.
I think it's the end of this month.
Yeah, I think it might be like mid-April for us because a few weeks difference and whatever. But yeah, like getting a physical release for a Netflix thing, that unusual.
Spencer says AJ mentioned Unfriended. Yay!
Yeah, going back to what you said about Oscar movies not disappearing, it's also interesting in cases like where we associate so many movies with just the award season.
Right.
But then there's stuff like my relationship with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where that movie was already a part of my being before the Oscars even happened.
Accurate.
So like the fact that it was an Oscar movie is kind of one of the last things I associate it with. Because I still just I watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the way Spencer watches Pacific Heights, basically.
Accurate.
In the book, and it's sometimes I'll just randomly pick up the book and just turn to a certain scene, and it just like relaxes me.
Nice. Top Hat Seam says everyone knows Florence Pugh's most iconic role is Goldilocks and Puss in Boots. Still haven't seen it yet. I guess I need to check it out. Apparently, if somebody jolly is a part of it. So Gabriel says, doppelganger donkey? No question mark! Exclamation point.
to go back to the Popcast Movie Club, the donkey who haunted themselves. I don't know.
Dear God. Alright, continue.
We then had the Glass Onion reunion of Janelle Monáe and Kate Hudson.
That was nice.
To give away sound to Top Gun Maverick, so yes, it actually won something.
Yes, it did.
You can tell how much I love Top Gun Maverick. I don't think I've ever been so excited about the sound category. It was like, because when I celebrated, I said I knew they weren't sending it home empty-handed, and that like was a peak of the night for me. Was just that it didn't go home empty-handed. I didn't care what it was.
Top Gun goes home with a trophy for sound. I'm in love with the sound, says Spencer Reed.
And that's another one that could have very easily been taken by All Quiet on the Western Front. So that's like an even bigger victory.
Because in fair, with the sound, you also have to include dubbing Val Kilmer with, I can't remember who it was that did the lines, because I don't think it was Val, was it? Or was he? Did he have just about enough in him to be able to do it?
I think I heard something about it was like AI putting together like 30-something pieces of audio or something.
Wow.
Yeah, something really elaborate.
Owen knows how AI works tonight.
I do now.
Then the
real quick, Spencer asked thoughts on Lewis Milestone.
Oh, weirdly enough, one of the first things that comes to mind with him, besides All Quiet on the Western Front, is he has a few movies that are lost. And the idea that there's movies out there that once existed that just don't anymore haunts me. As somebody that tries to see as much as possible, that thought is just like, it's not a good feeling.
Sure. All right.
Oh, I didn't realize he
Yeah.
did the original Ocean's 11.
I have to keep track on all the way these are going. Okay. Original song goes to Natu Natu, to the shock of no one that was in the room, obviously. I know a lot of people were like saying, "Oh, Natu Natu is not going to win because people forgot about it. It's not RRR's not nominated for anything." And I was like, "You have little faith, my friend."
And then the songwriter sings his acceptance speech to the tune of "Top of the World" from the Carpenters.
That was cool. I'll give him that. That was cool. We get a very choked up and deservingly so, John Travolta presents Lenny Kravitz to do the in memoriam.
I mean, probably because he had to say the line "hopelessly devoted" to.
I guess. Yeah,
That
and
one line was just like, "You sons of bitches."
And as somebody who has had to say words that they don't necessarily need to be saying at the wrong time or at the right time, depending on how you're looking at things, I know how John Travolta feels. And I'm sure it wasn't easy for him to go up there and do that. And kudos to him for even being able to.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, ending on was it the producer of the Oscar
Walter
telecast?
Marsh, one of the first. Well, not one of the first. One of the previous Academy chairman, and produced God knows how many films. Marsh was in the Heat of the Night, right? From like 55 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
Sounds right. We can't just ignore that Robert Blake joke.
No,
oh God.
Because I literally, like 2 minutes before he said that, I had said, I wonder if Robert Blake was too controversial to make it, because Sizemore didn't make it either.
Yeah, the Sizemore thing.
Sizemore had a lot of controversy, but Sizemore also had a lot of iconic movies on his resume.
Yes,
but he had some fucked up controversies too.
Yeah, Marsh did In the Heat of the Night, Thomas Crown Affair, Fiddler on the Roof. No Topo.
Oh shit, that's right.
I just realised that as well.
And he's a nominee.
All right.
Scorpio, the 1979 Dracula, the Frank Langella one. A whole bunch of other stuff that Walter did, so.
All right.
And Walter only died 2 weeks ago, February 24th, so.
And then I might as well, in that circumstance, I should have just turned the ceremony off, asked Ashley when Best Actor was coming up, watched that, and then turned it back off again. Because the rest of the night was nothing but just a straight kick right in the nuts.
Zoe Saldana and Sigourney Weaver, which I guess is Avatar related.
That's 100% Avatar related.
Yeah, but like, do you know it's them? There's blue, dabu dee dabu die.
Yeah, because of the actual ride, Flight of Passage in Pandora.
Yeah, so film editing went to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Jesus Christ.
Of which we only found out at this speech that it was only his second film editing.
Well, Spencer says the editing win is its most deserving win with screenplay next.
Then Idris Elba and Nicole Kidman, who I guess are just part of commercials, because Idris Elba does our booking.com at commercials, of which we got one with Melissa McCarthy. I'm like, dear fuck. And as we previously mentioned, Nicole Kidman wanting you to go to the cinema.
Heck yeah.
They seemed pretty random choices for director.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
has it the past few times it's been the previous director winner, hasn't it?
something like that. Uh,
I'm trying to remember who it was last year. Was it Sean or?
Well, Costner gave it to Campion.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh,
But
maybe they didn't want
Chloe
Campion there.
Zhao she gave something out.
I,
Because Bong gave it to Chloe Zhao, I think, or announced Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
And Del Toro definitely did it for Cuarón. I don't know.
well,
Maybe they just wanted multiple presenters, and so they went, yeah, put them on.
just say it and get it out of the way.
So then actor went to Fraser.
All right, so we got Chad on this one.
Who was in awe still, and it was
See, it wouldn't have gone over with everybody, but it would have been wonderful if at some point during like the huge pop he got when he deservingly won, someone just walked up and gave him a cup of coffee. Now, granted, the people that were watching the ceremony, I'd say probably like 4 people out of 10 would have got it, but I feel like it would have been enough to justify doing it as one of those like, why was this done? And I'd see that like that Vanity Fair thing I saw a little bit ago, and I broadcast here. I was like, why did someone just walk up and give Brendan Fraser a cup of coffee? And I was like, you ever write Revenge of the Mummy? No. Don't matter. I know people that are watching this show have, and enough people could probably get that reference. So it'd be great if Pauly Shore came up and gave him like a Slurpee or something. That'd have been nice. I would have enjoyed that. That didn't happen, obviously. Maybe like Steve Buscemi giving him a guitar. That'd be nice.
Yeah, because I didn't know what the Elvis blanking precedent was setting. Because it was either going to be, this is clearly setting up Fraser.
Yeah.
Or it was going to be like The Favorite, where The Favorite had plenty of opportunities to win, but it only won Coleman.
Yeah.
So I still felt like even when we got there, I still felt like it could have gone either way.
Yeah, easily. And Top Hat says Fraser's been a wholesome fella every award show. I'm glad he got it. Congratulations, Dudley Do Right. He is Chaz freaking Darby, my friend.
He's a lot of people.
You know, man. Linkovich Chomosky, thank you very much.
I say I'm not as big on the mummy movies as everybody else, but Rick O'Connell's an iconic character to like millions of people.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's where the coffee thing comes in.
Yeah.
Which I would have marked out for that, but not enough people would have got it. But I don't care. Damn, Brendan Fraser winning SAG helped him slide to the win. We still love you, Austin Butler. Dune 2 nomination for him. Haha.
I mean, maybe he will stop talking like Elvis now.
It will be curious what he sounds like in his movies from now on.
I guess we'll see. All right. And then Ashley, just go.
Yeah. Yo wins Best Actress.
It rhymes with it.
Yo wins Best Actress, and her husband doesn't look like he gives a shit. Really, John Tott showing up at half these award things, and like she wins, and he's just like,
It's like every time Frances McDormand wins, and we get the non-reaction shot of Jolko.
Spencer says, Michelle Yeoh, my girl. She's an amazing, wonderful woman and an amazing actress who delivered.
The nice touch is
Oh,
that
yeah,
she's apparently taking the award to her 84-year-old mum and family that lives in Malaysia.
Well, I don't care about the movie, but I will say that I forgot to mention the Tony Scott put over during
Oh,
Hold My
yeah.
Hand, and I thought that was really well done too. Spencer says Elvis and Lydia Tarr should make an album if they were alive. Same with Megan. These are working actors.
I mean, it's feasible.
Hold on. Okay, good. We're caught up now, thank God. Yeah, the less said about the better. Obviously, you know, one picture, even if anybody really.
Harrison Ford. The only nice bit was
on.
Harrison Ford and Ke Huy Quan, like, really being excited with each other. Even Harrison Ford, grumpiest man alive, was actually excited.
That's me. Because right before, literally, as they're reading the nominees for picture, because there's no way in hell I'm calling it best anything. As they're reading the nominees for picture, this is where you not having a smartphone, AJ, is a good thing. Because I get a notification that is pushed to me via AMC before the nominees are even finished. It says, congratulations, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Come see your best picture at our theater.
This is
before Air Force Harrison opened his freaking mouth, I get this notification from AMC.
This is when you really want a La La Land Moonlight situation.
That never happened, but yes, you're exactly right.
I was going to make the joke that there's only two people in this entire world that can make Harrison Ford smile. Ke Huy Quan and that interviewer whose name I don't remember that did the Blade Runner 2049 interview.
I mean, I was just sad that James Hong wasn't allowed to speak. After his speech at SAG, I was like, let him speak again. I don't care if it overruns. You know, it was a nice little touch finding out that he started as a civil engineer and that we can blame him for the roads in LA.
It's crazy that James Hong, John Williams, and Judd Hirsch were all there, and none of them look their age.
Let's see. Top Hat says that's Damian Drake from Looney Tunes back in action right there.
Yeah.
Kenneth Lee, welcome back. They should make the All Quiet School a new song to play people off. So we're Jurassic Parking people with All Quiet Now.
Well,
okay. Sure.
Well, wasn't there one year where they did it with the Jaws theme?
Yes. Oh my God, yes, I remember that. That was great. I think it was one of the guys that won for one of the shorts that year got jawsed off the stage. That's hilarious. It reminded me of the old SNL bit that was obviously turned into something great that you utilized in the original Clerks with Salsa Shark. Russell Olive, another person I haven't seen before. Welcome. Next year's Oscar prediction: Lin-Manuel wins this Oscar for Best Song. You know, talk to me. Wouldn't shock me a bit. All right, let's go into the chat real quick. Josie, I do have a lot of things from you, but I want to make sure I get everybody's taken care of first. Spencer Reed says Nick Cage for Renfield.
I mean,
trailer looks interesting. I won't lie.
Yeah, it looks promising,
yeah,
but at the same time, because it's low budget and they're not trying to push it as a big thing, I'm wondering whether they're using that as cover in case it doesn't deliver for people.
Alright, I gotta find this one. Josie had doing a lot of... Okay, I'm going to keep those. I'm going to get rid of those and move those somewhere else in the lineup. We are still live, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. So Spencer Reed, after all the putovers for the movie I hate, he puts over a movie I enjoy. Scream 6, Best Screenplay, Makeup, Editing, Picture, Best Actress for Melissa Barrina, and Supporting Actress for Hayden Panettiere as Kirby.
I genuinely think, obviously he's saying this because it's March.
Yeah.
But I mentioned this in the video too. Hayden Panettiere is genuinely award worthy in Scream 4.
I agree.
Like, not even joking.
I totally agree.
I mean, of course, you say, it's March, we're talking too early, but it was...
Okay.
Like, yesterday was the first anniversary of Everything Everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
From its South by Southwest premiere. So it shows you that films, that's the more shocking thing. A24 pulled their finger out and made history by being the first studio to get all 4 acting categories.
Hmm. Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the more disturbing thing. The people that have literally done nothing for years with better films, certainly in Owen's opinion.
Oh God, yes.
Do nothing for like the previous years, and then go all out this year and actually get something from it, which makes you wonder if they put in the effort the other years, what could they have reaped from them?
Good movies winning awards that deserving.
Yeah. This is the kind of push fucking Macbeth needed. That would have been nice.
Kenneth Lee brings up Apocalypse Now, and Gabriel brings up 2016 with the good old Daniel Bryan music, Flight of the Valkyries. Bryan Danielson, not exactly the same thing. Spencer says Tar and Fableman's Go Home with Nothing. This was at 11:29, so I've got this timestamp.
Yeah,
so
Everything Ever All at Once, the most awarded Best Picture winner since Slumdog, back in 2008?
Yeah. That I do know.
Yeah,
that is name.
Banshees, Elvis, Fableman's,
Tar, Triangle of Sadness,
and Triangle of Sadness got nothing.
By the way, I really genuinely appreciate every time we got a Triangle of Sadness clip. There were plenty of clips from the Captain's Dinner, and thankfully none of them were that. I was concerned because I thought, if we can openly talk about my year of dicks, they could show that scene. That's the barrier has fallen a little bit, but thankfully they spared me.
Like they spared me from seeing Naked Flying Sailor too. Wouldn't it be funny if out of nowhere Triangle of Sadness won? This was 11:30. Literally would die of laughter.
I was thinking about that when original screenplay came up. It was like, what if?
Spencer says, excellent job, EO. You're a movie that grows in quality after each watch. I'm about ready to just ban this movie from ever being mentioned again after tomorrow. Seriously, I'm not even kidding at this point. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I had to go through hell this season for a movie that I absolutely hated to show up and show out on a year that I could have possibly not even been a part of if things would have fell differently, but they didn't. So this was a really rough year for me. So can we just not talk about that movie anymore after tomorrow, please? I really would appreciate it. Honestly.
It took me a second because it sounded like you said EO the donkey movie, and I'm sitting here like, what is your beef with EO?
Nothing, Eric. Oh. from California. I have lots of problems with Eric O. That's a joke, though. He knows it. 7 wins for, most wins in a while. Yeah, we just mentioned that a minute, Spencer. Jamie Lee Curtis, parents would be very proud of her just as much or more than I am of her.
It's amazing that legacy of acting the family has, and that's the only Oscar that they have between the 3 of them.
That's just ridiculous. Russell Olive says, if Michelle Williams were supporting, do you think we should have won? I think she would have had a much better chance.
Although I did like in that little speech from DeBose, these supporting men, and as soon as AJ's gonna lose it because it's not supporting.
Right.
Yeah, because Curtis had the whole career win thing going, but Michelle Williams would have had exactly the same thing. Because how many nominations does Michelle Williams even have now? It's got to be
3,
5.
4.
She's got
it's at least 4 or 5.
Right.
It's Brokeback, it's My Week with Marilyn, it's Blue Valentine, it's Manchester by the Sea, and The Fabelmans. Is that it?
And those are all good movies. And great performances from her.
Yeah, I feel like I missed one.
No, 5 nominations: Brokeback, Blue Valentine, My Week with Marilyn, Manchester by the Sea, and Fabelmans.
I got them, and I got them in order. Fuck yeah.
Well, no, Blue Valentine was the year before My Week with Marilyn.
Fuck.
They were the other way around.
Hey, think about it from this perspective. I think I can say this. Yeah, I can say that. We saw all those in a theater.
I didn't see Blue Valentine in a theater. Did you?
No, we watched it on my computer. That's right. Dang it.
She's got an Emmy for Fosse Verdun.
That's true.
And, nominated Golden Globe for All the Money in the World as well. And SAG was nominated for Station Agent, of course, for that cast award.
Spencer says I won't talk about any again if we don't speak about the whale ever again.
I mean, we may not. I don't know.
I don't really think there'd be a reason the whale would come up.
I mean, we're talking about Brendan Fraser because obviously Encino Man is coming sooner rather than later to freaking Movie Club.
Yeah.
Since it's stuck in my head now, which that's all I need to make me create something for Movie Club.
Literally, one of the last tweets, the discussing film Twitter thing, which I had to get an order of what was actually presented and whatever, tweeted a picture from Encino Man with Quan holding the crown up, ready to crown Fraser or whatever, and then them holding their Oscars in the backstage area for the press together.
Yes, Top Hat, we can still talk about Scooby-Doo too.
I mean, can we not? I mean, you can, but can we not? Would it help?
We'll see where we go. I wonder if anybody ever brought mom and dad to the Oscars. I used to like seeing Brad Pitt's mother, says Spencer Reed. I'm sure it's happened from time to time.
I think. What was that again?
Has anybody ever brought mom and dad to the Oscars?
Don't they do that all the time?
Yeah, but I can't think of anything specific.
I mean, you heard some of them were there. It's just they weren't in the +1 area. They were sort of in the. They were in the upper circle.
I think Paul Mescal was with his mom.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think he was.
The thing.
And Laura Dern was with Diane Ladd. Yeah, she was with Diane Ladd when she won. She was with Bruce Dern when she was nominated for Wild.
Oh, okay. Parsnip. So it is something that happens a lot, apparently. Parsnip Burger says the thing this settles is Academy is not ready to give an Oscar to a Marvel acting performance.
Yeah, I just realized Jamie Lee Curtis and Laura Dern accomplished the same thing, where they both have nominated parents, but they're the only one that won.
supposedly with the latest Ant-Man, people are growing tired of Marvel. Yeah, they do it. They basically do their National Lampoon now. They
Well,
do a movie every
okay,
week.
okay, yeah, okay. Let's hold on. I agree that I'm just in general kind of tired of Marvel. And regardless of that, Ant-Man is bad on a level all its own that has nothing to do with being tired of Marvel.
But it does have one of the best counter service restaurants that Disney has ever produced, and the greatest dessert in the history of Disney ever, the Choco Smash Bar, including a fantastic drink called Pingo Doce, which is literally from the Ant-Man series. You can currently get, if you're an East Coaster, as a Dungeons and Dragons drink at your local AMC. I don't support the movie, but I support being able to have Pingo Doce without having to go to California.
So you got that, and then that is technically the latest project for Hugh Grant. Although I looked, the next thing is a Jerry Seinfeld comedy about the creation of Pop-Tarts. I wish I was joking.
That sounds good.
What was his name?
Is it
from
so it's
Anchorman?
Steve Carell?
No, James Marsden.
Yeah, Marsden.
He's apparently playing Jack LaLanne. Which, if you've seen all those bloody juicer commercials from back in the day.
Oh, hold on. I got stopped for a second. Your go-to for James Marsden is Anchorman 2.
Yeah. Fuck Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, I mean, there's Westworld, there's Hairspray, there's Death at a Funeral, Enchanted.
Enchanted, the one I go to.
I mean, I'm not mad. It's very.
I wanted to say Into James Woods, but then I only remember that because I call it Into James Woods.
Jesus. Oh boy. Okay. Top Hat says Pingo Doce from the Incredible Hulk. Dude, I knew it was Marvel. It's being sold in a Pim's restaurant, so I thought it was something because I don't follow the superhero genre unless it's Batman, or apparently the only other thing I'll go for is Spider-Man. But I still haven't seen the animated Spider-Man yet, so I need to watch that before the new one comes out.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it's the best one overall, but there's no Andrew Garfield in it, so I don't know how that's going to be possible, but I guess we'll see.
It just seems like a Seinfeld adaptation as well. Kellogg's and post-consumer brands compete to see if they can produce a breakfast pastry before the other in 1963 Michigan.
That sounds freaking awesome.
Seinfeld starring as well as writing and producing, because of course he is. But like Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer, Hugh Grant, James Marsden, Bobby Moynihan, Christian Slater, Dinklage, John Hamm, John Slattery. Like, what? Why? And yes. Only issue is it's Netflix, so we're fucked. It's not coming to cinema.
If it gets nominated for anything, I'll have to go watch it at the theater that doesn't have the good Bond Lounge anymore, thanks to new ownership. Parsnip Burger says, I cried at least 3 or 4 times. I felt like the Oscars were especially emotional. The Navalny one in particular broke my heart. I have friends in Russia.
Yeah, I love that Riz Ahmed specifically even mentioned that, where he's like, this is like a really emotional show, and it was.
Spencer Reed says, Stallone seems like he would be a fun guy to eat chicken wings with.
Unless you're, what's his name? The producer?
Erwin Winkler.
Erwin Winkler.
The conversation we had earlier today while I was walking to get all the food that I consumed today. Yeah, Pingo Doce is from The Incredible Hulk. It's the drink that poisoned Stan Lee. That's right. Parsnip Burger's go-to for Marsden is Gossip. Brilliant film. Top Hat says Hop. And Russell Olive's open-ended response, which I'll get to that in a minute, had a favorite part from the Oscars. I'm waiting to hear what that is. And as I wait...
Gossip is a deep cut. I think that's early Kate Hudson, too.
It is early Kate Hudson. I want to end with that, Spencer, because I think that sounds the best to be the last words of the show tonight. So I'm going to save that to the very last one. Dimitri Marek. That's a new name I haven't heard before. Halle Berry looks so good. She needs better roles.
I mean, she's for the last couple of years she has. It's just they haven't been sort of big mainstream stuff. I don't think she's in John Wick 4 from what we know of, is she?
Well, there was that weird thing that happened with Frankie and Alice, where she got nominated for a Globe for it in 2010, but then the movie didn't come out until like 2016.
Yep. Top Hat says this show took itself seriously and made it all the more better. Let's see.
I mean, it is funny to think about a show taking itself seriously, and it's the same show with the Cocaine Bear bit, but yeah, I see what he means. Yeah,
it's the year of the donkey. Eddie Murphy should get a donkey movie. Why is that not a thing? If I'm going to sit through 35 new Minions movies, can I get
Puss in Boots
standalone film, please?
I think it's because Donkey is kind of the perfect supporting character.
Yeah, that's true.
Where it's like we get him in just the right amount of doses.
I can say the same thing about the Minions. Even though I'm very excited for the new ride we have opening in a couple months. Very interesting concept. Top Hat says, don't forget the donkeys in Triangle of Sadness and Puss in Boots.
Oh god, I forgot about the ill-fated donkey in Triangle of Sadness.
Probably why.
Yeah, most of them are ill-fated donkeys. I don't know how much spoiler territory we're in now this late in the year, but
I don't care.
Yeah.
The donkeys have eyes.
That's funny you mentioned that. You'll find out soon enough. Actually, in a couple months, when I go into the fog for a couple months. Top Hat 1148 says Owen's villain. Wow, take a shot. Owen's villain origin story. Dude, I had one along, so don't worry.
Your villain origin story is because of a movie that has a villain origin story in it.
Yes. Top Hat goes, this was a surprisingly good show. They cut up the unnecessary gags and respected their nominees mostly. Parsnip Burger says, I'm annoyed. I got all the shorts, but one wrong. Both costume production and makeup because I went with Gold Derby. Yeah, that's a mistake you made, sir. Sometimes it works, but not always. Thanks a lot, Elvis in Babylon. Hey, no one thought, like AJ said, no one thought that was going to go that way. Top Hat says, whenever someone got cut off, a part of my soul got stabbed, especially the woman from Elephant Whispers.
The first time it happened, I thought they might have done what Jon Stewart did for Marketa Orglova when she won for Once, but it ended up being a recurring thing throughout the night.
Oh, Russell Hollow said, sorry about that. Press the button by accident. We've all done it. Russell, we just have. I was asking what your favorite part of the Oscars was. Will you stop? Shoot.
I mean, I'd say for you, Owen, probably the Gaga performance.
Yeah, Hold My Hand is the correct answer. And Jimmy Kimmel's Letterman-esque monologues throughout the show. Wasn't a fan of most of the winners at all, literally and figuratively.
I would say my number one's always going to be Whenever Blunt Presents.
That's fair. And Florence Pugh, but...
And there's the Natu Natu performance, and any time they cut to Kiki Kwan, because he was just so fucking happy all the time. I think actually my favorite Kiki Kwan moment was probably his moment with Harrison Ford when it won Picture. So those three.
Parson, go ahead, Ashley.
Trying to think. I'd probably say like a fair few of the wins, because a lot of them were sort of like just a fair few of the big ones, at least at the top for the acting, were sort of redemption things. You know, Yo supposedly being past her prime when she wasn't. Fraser getting the treatment that he did off various people within Hollywood. Ke Huy Quan sort of getting ground out the system and then sort of coming back in from sort of out of nowhere. And Lee Curtis sort of the career win sort of for her. So those are the sort of nice bits. But also like the fact that I think that's as I said before, I think it's the first time that somebody's actually had their birthday at the same time they've sort of won an award, although technically he won't. But he'll be partying like he has, I would have thought. The crazy thing is he's going back to Starbucks.
Another thing I loved was Ke Huy Quan thanking Jeff Cohen, because I think, is this the first speech he's done that?
Yes. As soon as he mentioned My Goonie Brother for Life, I was like, oh, shit. Deep cut.
So, Parson Burger says, just watched The Whale and Elvis. Really liked Elvis. The Whale bothered me. Top Hat says, okay, kids, in AJ's shelf, can you spot the cat in the hat?
It's visible. It's in the shot. I think it's in the shot. Yeah, it's in the shot.
I'm sure it is if he called you out on it. Top Hat says, you know, they wrote DJ's animation speech as a response to backlash from last year's animation speech. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, Parson and Burger missed 5, but got all the others right. Gabriel was 16 out of 23. Spencer says, why isn't Owen speaking? I don't get it, LOL. No. Parson and Burger says 17 out of 23. Miss Brendan went with Elvis. Spencer got 11 out of 23. Top Hat says 5 Best Picture nominees, but home empty-handed. Undeservingly, but yeah. That's a thing. I'm trying to keep up on everything.
Was 2018 the last time every picture nominee got something? The year Green Book won?
We're talking about spreading the love. They don't like to do that. They really don't. That's good water.
In terms of our prediction stuff,
hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
I worry about that when we're done with chat.
Okay.
Ever since the crew since the Everything crew adopted Brendan Fraser, his award was locked. Hi, Cassie. 12:31. Just got done watching the Oscars. It was a good show. Okay. I got a couple chat questions, and Josie has got a flashback from 85. But for the most part, we're done. Congratulations to AJ for winning the competition this year.
You mean the full one? Because I didn't win tonight.
on the night, somehow from out of nowhere, I actually sniped it, thanks to Brendan Fraser.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Even though I probably could have done better with some of my predictions, when I should have, I should have called the Navalny one. So it could have been 17. But in the end, Owen finishes on 79. I finish on 85, and AJ wins once again with 87. So I managed to close the gap to 2 points. I'm trying to work out if that's the closest spread we've had in a while. I'll have to look at the history. um, of all the other categories like previously. Yeah, you sort of okay overall. You don't think you did it well, Owen. The gap
Nope.
between you and AJ last year was 20. And I was last. I was like even worse. So although you came last, we're bunched up a lot closer than we have been over the last previous years. So
Well, this was my worst year to date as of right now in lots of ways. Even though the numbers don't say that, that would probably easily be the correct answer right now. And I think this isn't as bad as American Hustle, though. I really shat the bed on that one. But I mean, when it comes to pure dislike of things that actually won, this is probably the worst year in recent memory for sure. All I had to do was like one movie, and I just couldn't. I couldn't be up to the task. Josie says 9:28 p.m. I have to timestamp this because that's why I'm doing this at the end. Which restaurant would you rather eat at, the bar in Banshees or the one in Top Gun?
One in Banshees would be a lot more peaceful.
Maybe. Until you
Because,
have.
I mean, it's great on screen when somebody hits the piano with great balls of fire and everybody's making a lot of noise. If I was actually there, that'd really bother me.
Well, here's the thing. I judge it from the perspective that I don't drink. And although I enjoy going to Finnegan's or enjoy going to like a traditional Irish pub like they would have at other places, I don't think I do very well when it came to a menu. And those places usually have really crappy soda selections, like here's Coke, here's Diet, here's Sprite, that's it. Great. I think with the Top Gun bar, I number one, I'd have a chance at Pepsi. And number two, I'm pretty sure they probably got some great French fries. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Top Gun.
Well, Jennifer Connelly works at the Top Gun bar.
This is a correct statement.
Oh, damn. That might have sold it.
Time to go to the danger zone.
When the movie, don't forget, when the movie begins, she's single, too.
Like I said, I really feel that bar would have Pepsi. It just felt like the right kind of bar that would. And Banshees, like I said, they're going to have really crappy soda selections. And Top Hat chimes in and goes, as long as you're not having a row with someone, the Banshees pub seems great. Yeah, it does.
A row, you mean?
A row. Yeah, dude,
Are
what
we
a
rowing?
season. I don't. And betray me and I don't care anymore. Josie says, who would you give the best glasses to? My pick is Julia Butters. Josie, it does make sense because you pick yourself.
What was it?
Who has the best glasses in the movies this season? This was a category she handed out in her Oscar picks for her version of the Oscars.
I'm trying to think of who is even eligible.
I do like the Julia Butters answer, and not just because it's you, Josie, because that's the person I really correspond with when I think about it. Because I said that when I watched The Fablemans the first time. I was like, you know who Julia Butters reminds me of? It reminds me of Josie. And I told that to AJ, and he was like, huh. He kind of like, all right. That was said. My battery percent now. That's good.
Why can't I remember who all wore glasses this year?
I wore glasses in The Fablemans, but I wouldn't go with that one.
I mean, they're not like eyeglasses, but I will say Miles Teller's sunglasses because that was like the final detail that made him look exactly like fucking Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. We do live in a Top Gun world. I feel like that's probably a good bet too.
Oh, I'm guessing Only Murders in the Building is probably going to get SAG nominations in a 12 months' time. Given that we
Okay.
now know that Meryl Streep is in it.
Oh Lord.
I mean, as long as Cara
And
Delevingne doesn't come back.
and from what I can tell from the trailer, Paul Rudd is getting killed off.
That's the last scene of the last episode of season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So them showing
Okay.
it at the start of the new trailer isn't that much of a surprise.
I hate this because this looks horrible on camera. This gives me so many bad flashbacks of when I first started 10 years ago. What is a performance you dislike in a movie that you love? Says Josie. Spencer says Michelle Williams in The Fablemans.
And this is just movies this year.
She doesn't really specify, but I guess for sake of the fact it's almost 2 a.m., I'd say yeah.
I know there's somebody that was not up to the quality of their movie, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm not really big. Not that this is it's got to be a movie you love. I was gonna call out Ty Simpkins in The Whale, but it's got to be a movie you love.
Right.
Oh damn.
I don't have an answer to this, I don't think.
Shit.
I don't have an answer to this.
No, that's not.
And Josie, we'll leave that question for the. We can't answer that question. I can't, at least. AJ seems like he can't, and Ashley didn't seem like he can either. So
The thing that annoys me is that I know there is an answer. It's just not coming to me.
it's 2 a.m. I understand why I wouldn't, especially because you have had about as much sleep as I'm going to get tonight. So
It's not a performance I Okay, I'll say one. It's not a performance I dislike, so it's gonna be cheap. But I don't think it's the great performance everybody else does.
okay.
I do not love Paul Dano in The Batman.
Oh, that's wrong. I do, for many reasons.
Almost everybody does. I'm afraid to say that in public.
What have I done this whole season? Come on. You shouldn't be afraid of that when I'm clearly saying the worst thing you possibly can say right now for the season. Create a straight-to-DVD sequel name of each of the Best Picture nominees. Spencer gives an example. Whale 2, Charlie Meets a Shark, directed by Yui Bowl.
All Loud on the Eastern Front, I guess. Because then you could tie it into Stalingrad.
Oh, wow, nice.
That's, of course, if you have it set in World War II. Which I don't think even the Western Front was Second World War this time around.
Can we do the Cooks of Dublin and just follow Carrie Condon's character when she moves?
So if we're doing straight to video, there's usually a negative connotation with that. So I'm imagining just the Banshees of Inisherin 2, but in the style of Saw 2, the 2 is 2 severed fingers.
Oh, that's great.
Avatar: Search for Spock. The sequel to Elvis can be QAnon.
I like Colonel Tom, the Tupelo style chicken.
I mean, I think you've got the Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's that new series that's coming to Hulu or Disney Plus in a few months.
Top Gun Merlin starring Tim Robbins.
Dear God, that's funny.
The sequel to Fablemans, I think, technically should be How I Met Peter Falk.
John Ford's War.
Uh, Tar Allegro or something like that. That sounds like it's a straight to DVD sort of thing.
I got a trilogy for you.
God.
Women Talking 2, TOO, and Women Talking Now.
Oh, that's a good one. I think that's enough for tonight.
Top.
Yeah, I'm still fucked up because all of my clocks are still an hour behind, so I don't know
Top Gun
I
where
Starbuck.
or when I'll be. No, wait. Oh, wait. There's one more thing. Cat in the Hat's right here.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
It's
So
a shame
really,
they haven't done a Where's Waldo movie, because then we could just do it every show. Like, where's Waldo in the pub?
All right. Real quick, Oscar flashback 1985. Thank you, Josie, for doing this every single time. I'm sure she'll do one for tomorrow's special QA show that we're going to get. Well, today's QA show we'll do for you in multiple hours. Best original song, Purple Rain.
Well, best score.
Well, it says song. It says score for Purple Rain.
Yeah.
With Take Manhattan. I'm confused because it goes scores Purple Rain, Jeff Moss from Muppets Take Manhattan, and songwriter Chris Christopherson.
Let me have a quick check.
Best original song, Stevie Wonder for The Woman in Red, I Just Called to Say I Love You. Beating Let's Hear It for the Boy from Footloose. Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters theme, Take a Look Me In Now from Against All Odds.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I'd go with Ray Parker Jr. myself.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Oh, Songwriters a film, I see.
Yeah, best original score went to Pat. That was song for Purple Rain.
No, that was the thing. Back then, they called it song score. They separated it like son of a bitch.
Okay, good. Score went to Passage to India, beating The Natural, Under the Volcano, Temple of Doom, and The River. Random. Makeup went to Amadeus, beating Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, and 2010, the year we make contact. Wow, that seems like so long ago. The Killing Fields beats wins editing over Amadeus, Cotton Club, Passage to India, and Romancing the Stone. Visual effects went to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, beating Ghostbusters in 2010, the year we made contact. I'm a Ghostbusters guy, sorry. Documentary. This is interesting. The Times of Harvey Milk won.
That's a good documentary. Better than Milk, in my opinion.
Beating in the Name of the People that doesn't have a meme that only two people understand. Streetwise, if you know, you know. High Schools and Marlene. Amadeus won costumes, beating Passage to India, Bostonians, and the Places in the Heart. Cinematography for The Killing Fields, beating Amadeus, The River, Passage to India, and The Natural. Art set direction. Amadeus won over Passage to India and The Natural 2010, and Cotton Club. Supporting actress went to Peggy Ashcroft for Passage to India. My phone's gonna die soon. Yay! Geraldine Page for Pope of Greenwich Village. Lindsay Krause for Places in the Heart. Christine Lottie and Glenn Close for The Natural.
I sometimes forget how fucking underwhelming the 1984 Oscars were.
Well, you're getting a nice little crash course right now, Ski. Supporting actor Hein S. Nigor for The Killing Fields. John Malkovich, Places in the Heart. Ralph Richardson, Greystoke. Adolf Caesar for A Soldier Story, and Pat Morita for The Karate Kid. I'd go for Mr. Miyagi every single time. Josie says also adapted, went to Amadeus over Soldier Story, The Killing Fields, Pasadena, and Greystoke. Original went to Places in the Heart over Broadway, Danny Rose. First time I've seen that one. Splash, Beverly Hills Cop, and El Norte. Jimmy Stewart.
There you can see how inspired the year could have been.
Yes. Beverly Hills Cop. Jimmy Stewart won an honorary award. Sally Field won for Places in the Heart for leading, beating Judy Davis for Passage to India, Vanessa Redgrave for Bostonians, and Jessica Lange for Country, Sissy Spacek for The River. F. Murray Abraham won actor for Amadeus, beating Jeff Bridges for Starman, Tom Hulce for Amadeus, Albert Finney for Under the Volcano, Sam Waterston for The Killing Fields. Director was Milos Forman for Amadeus, beating Robert Benton for Places in the Heart, Woody Allen for Broadway, Danny Rose, David Lean for Passage to India, and Roland Joffe for The Killing Fields. Amadeus won picture over Soldier Story, Killing Fields, Passage to India, Places in the Heart. That was your flashback.
Most of those wins are warranted. It's just there wasn't a lot of competition.
It was 1985. You found it, gold star. Thank you, Mr. Top Hat. And Spencer gets the last word. Remember, folks, when one Oscar season ends, another begins. A new Supreme will rise with more power than the last. Which means in 5 months, we'll do this again. But in the meantime, stay tuned. Because lots of things will be coming your way in the meantime.
And hopefully I can partake. Because remember, you know who I know he was just a miserable. Hey, we're going to talk about the whale. Something I said we probably weren't going to do anymore.
Not over yet.
And I know he was just having the worst life imaginable. But do you realize how envious I am right now of Brendan Fraser in The Whale, that he was able to chuck his laptop across the room and into a wall, making it shatter? I would love to do nothing more than that right now. I'm so envious he got to do that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, that's your show. And I have to hold things like this because my phone's about to die. So once again, I want to thank everybody that's joined us in chat this whole season. The familiar names and the new. We want to thank you for being a part of one or more podcasts we've done this season. Reaction videos, Oscar nominations, just everything we've done since August. Hopefully 2024's Oscar season will reflect a movie that I don't absolutely despise, winning everything. A movie that's now stricken from the record here after tomorrow, or today, because we got one more show to do, and I will allow things one more time tomorrow since it is a QA show, but after that, no, we're not talking about it anymore. I am a man of my word after all. So we will be live tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Pop the Question, our QA show, which will involve the three of us for sure. And we'll see if Chris joins or not. If not, he'll come back when he's able to. We've got AJ content forthcoming as soon as the computer situation is fixed, so get ready for that. And Ashley will have new content in the near future as well. So we got a lot of catching up to do, but don't worry, we'll get there eventually. So stay tuned to Popcast Network. Even though the award season's over, we're not going anywhere. So that being said, Ashley can be found on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, of course, if you want to leave him a comment or prepare for Popcast Network's 10-year anniversary show on May 1st, feel free to do so, because you cannot find him on any form of social media, but if you want to leave a comment, I'll see it and make sure I get it back on there. And as alluded to in chat, we have a Discord server now. So link will be in the description bar because it's one of those things that doesn't have a cool title. So it's got like letters and dots, things like that.
You only get that ability when you get enough people to boost your server. So we don't have any of that.
Yes, Parsnip Burger, another movie that will not be named on here. I don't want to talk about that movie after today's QA show because I can say that because it's 2:00 in the morning here on the East Coast. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney, and like I said, more content forthcoming. Tons of Voices content, ton of Sip and Snack content, ton of AJ content coming in the near future. So get ready for all these things as we progress through the summer, the unnecessary evil that it is, and at the very end, we come back here for the top 8 and hopefully send me out in the fog for a couple of months. So that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And literally, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Fuck, I'm a pig. Just have that randomly at the end.